This channel just hit 1,000 subscribers just after 6 months of starting. And I wanted to share with you the strategies I used to get there so that you can get to your first 1,000 subscribers, get monetization, and then get a successful YouTube channel. So in this video, I'm going to reveal how you can easily apply these tips to your channel, the essential steps that I took to get to that first 1,000 subscribers, and why it happened so fast. But first, why 20 minutes to get there? Well, I realise it's a combination of several factors and several strategies you need to understand. And to do justice, I need to put them together in one video, and that's this very video that you're watching now. And when I was building this new channel, I filmed the process so that I can now share those clips with you. And so I've edited into this video all those tips that are going to be really useful, because I know, looking at my audience, 99% of you haven't made 1,000 subs yet. So I know it's a goal that you want to attain as quickly as possible. But you're probably wondering, how do I know this is going to work on my YouTube channel? Well, all the steps I go through can be applied to any channel, so it will work for your channel. It may just be a case of understanding that the competition might be harder for some types of niches and some types of YouTube channels than others. But bear that in mind, that the principles behind what we look at today is going to work for your channel. And you can definitely hit 1,000 subscribers even in a crowded niche. So what were the steps in my path to get to 1,000 subscribers in 6 months? Well, here are the areas that I focused on. I focused on the audience, not the algorithm, during that 6 months. So let me show you on this part of the video of how I did that, where you've got a larger audience, and then also you've got small, which is more niche, and that's what you're kind of aiming for if you want to get a quick start in building your traffic. But if you want bigger traffic, bigger audience, then you go broader. So as you may have seen on other channels, they kind of divide this up, and the way they explain it is, this is kind of your topic here. So that's a topic that your channel's about. And if you're talking about something slightly off topic, then it might just be slightly outside of that area. And if you're very off topic, it'll be down here somewhere. So that's kind of how it works on a two-dimensional basis. So let's kind of put that into reality. Let's say that you are talking about gardening, and this area here is your topic on gardening. And if you want to go and release a video here, it's very specific, then that might be, say, on rare orchids care. If you have a video here, then that might be more on, say, backyard gardening. The point is depending on how specific or how broad the topic is on your video will depend on how bigger the audience is. But how does YouTube understand that? So as you release videos like this in your topic, while you stay on topic, you're beginning to build up an understanding as to what your channel's about. And eventually you kind of draw this, as it were, circular area. This is what you think your topic is about. And what you want is, you want YouTube to come to the same conclusion. So what you'll do is you'll continue to build videos within what you think your topic is about on your channel. Now it's worth noting that YouTube also has an audience profile for you. And because YouTube also has this audience profile, then it may have made a conclusion maybe early on that you are out here somewhere. And your idea is you want to get it where it's actually on the topic you're on. So how do you educate YouTube that way? Well, it's just a matter of time. YouTube keeps trying things, and it will eventually think and change and realize, there's a lot of videos here. And the key is once YouTube starts to give you traffic on your videos, then try and stay within the same topic, within the same specific or broad area, and try not to go outside. So really your next videos, especially when you get one or two that begin to show good numbers, they should be around that area too. So now it fits within your topic area, but it also fits within what YouTube is now rewarding traffic-wise. And really, the more closer your videos are to that area that's being rewarded, the quicker your channel starts to grow. And that's how many of these guys gradually build a following quicker than normal, because they just know and understand how the two work. Now, that's not to say you can't then go off topic or even more specific or even broader. And so now YouTube is beginning to even get closer to what you think the topic is. This is the dog wagging the tail and not the tail wagging the dog. So can any channel actually do this, including yours? Yes, it can, absolutely. I also looked at what is it that my audience actually wants to watch. So it's about matching your audience, looking at the values they have, what their concerns are, and then seeing if it resonates with them. And then sometimes you have to look back on your algorithm, sometimes you have to look back on your reports, sometimes you have to look back on what YouTube tells you about why a video succeeded or not. And that's the way you understand your audience. Thumbnails. Now, they're the first thing really that people see when they're flicking through on their phone or on their laptop. And so ultimately, you have to capture their interest. So I learned a few things about thumbnails, keeping it simple, having vivid colors, and think in terms of what your audience would recognize when it comes to a thumbnail, and yet standing out so it doesn't look like all the others. Today, you can split test your thumbnails and you'll get the same results. But how do you know which videos need to be tested? Which ones are going to bring the best returns? Well, there's again a brilliant tool here called Click Magnet. It tells you what expressions worked best, what words work best on your thumbnails, what videos would benefit from a better click-through rate because the retention is so good, but no one's getting through to the video. You could have the best video on earth, but if the thumbnail doesn't get people to go and see it, then it's going to have no effect whatsoever. It's like having the best movie and yet having no posters, no marketing. People don't know about it. No one ever sees it. No one ever talks about it. So in effect, you need to market your videos through great thumbnails. And that's why Click Magnet is another useful tool from TubeBuddy again on that same download. Also, there's a thumbnail analyzer, so you can upload 3 or 4 thumbnails and it'll tell you which one it thinks has the emotions, will get the clicks, and that gives you kind of a batting order. And then you can split test them in that order, which is what I'm doing at the moment. Basically, this video is full of strategies as to how you can improve your click-through rate. And I've seen 15, 20% click-through rates by just continuously going through this process on this video again and again, and I just wanted to share that with you. But I'd be interested to know what tools you use as well. So if you've got a strategy, put it in the comments below. What do you use to split test, or how do you go about deciding what thumbnail you're going to use on your video? Put it down in the comments below and I may well use that information as well on a future video. But I also promised I'd show you how you can make it pop, how you can make it stand out, how it has a real strong contrast against other thumbnails, and that improves the click-through rate too. And this is something that Mr. Beast uses, and it's kind of got some settings that he doesn't really share, but I thought I'd share with you. So what about engaging your audience? Your audience is going to switch off if they're not engaged. Always engaging my audience through comments. So if they put a comment, I'll reply. And also when it came to the community posts as well, putting things there, as I learned things, as I was researching topics, I'd also put something there for them to respond to. And also polls can be a great way of engaging your audience on the community. I also learned to not ask for them to subscribe straight away, but to give them a reason to subscribe. Give them some value in the video first before you ask them to subscribe. So the person you don't know that's subscribed, that's the hardest one to get. Now, if you've got that one already, that now starts to tell you and YouTube that there's something of value there. And now it's about matching it with the audience that's looking for the values you produced. So maybe you just say something that resonates with them. Maybe they just like the way you explain things. Maybe they can just see you're a genuine presenter. Maybe they like the types of shots you show if it's a gaming channel. All those things can add up, and no doubt that's convinced someone then to press the subscribe button. And as you make more videos, you'll find you'll get better at your production, your editing. You'll find that you'll have less waffle, and you'll be able to explain things in a quicker, more succinct way. And what about great ideas for your videos? So you need to, again, be aware of what's trending, be aware of what others are watching in your niche, see what Google's suggesting through the algorithm as to what your audience is currently watching. So you're looking for ideas, you're looking for trending topics, breaking news, that's going to then help you have a breakout video. So again, I did that on this particular video here that blew up. Whether it's true that YouTube channels can grow an audience much faster in the last year. And that is fast because on my previous channels, it took me nearly 3 years to get past the 500 subscription mark. So that compounding effect seems to start a lot quicker now than it used to. And this is excellent news for new channels and those that perhaps have given up and want to start the momentum going again. It's worth a second go because things have changed recently in one of the algorithms. What about understanding the order in which you create your video? It seems that most people create it in the wrong order. In fact, if you did a reverse order, as I touched on in this video now, you'll see that actually getting the change of order, getting the thumbnails and the titles ahead of time before you do the filming makes a massive difference. There were 3 things that I did, and even before I released it, I knew this video was going to blow up. But before I mention what those 3 things are, you need to remember that I've said this before and mentioned it previously on videos, that you need to think in a reverse order of what most YouTubers are doing. So what do I mean by that? One of the big mistakes is YouTubers tend to, first of all, put together an idea, they then film it, they then edit it, and they then go to upload it, and then they then think about the thumbnail and title. Every single part of that process is in the wrong order. And that's why this video blew up, because I did the reverse order. So what that means is you need to look at what actually is currently working, what thumbnails are being clicked on, or what are people actually looking for on YouTube today that has something about it that you know with your niche and your business or your strategy and your YouTube channel that you could also connect with and you could replicate it in your own particular way. So for example, I was looking on YouTube a few weeks ago. I came across this YouTube thumbnail, Ricky Gervais and Steve Merchant not getting on. Now, if you know the UK office, and I think they actually were behind the US office as well, that you know that they always seem to be together, they always seem to get on, and not friends. So I had to click to find out what that was about. But you know what? I also run a channel to do with Only Fools and Horses, and there, again, 2 people often seen together, Del and Rodney, or the actors themselves. And it just reminded me that I had an interview that I hadn't released yet, where the actor David Jason spoke about how he replicated not getting on with Nicholas Lyndhurst, Rodney Trotter. If you're not sure of who Nicholas Lyndhurst is and you like Frasier, then you'll know that he's the new character in Frasier on the new release there. So you may become more familiar with who he is in the coming months. So that thumbnail made me think I need to know why they're not friends. And I could do the same with my interview. So point number 1, get a viral idea and think, how could you relate it to your niche? Right, so I've done that. Then point number 2, if it's going to work, it needs to be believable. Now, David Jason and Nick Lyndhurst are friends, so how can I make it so that that thumbnail was still believable once they got to the video? So in effect, I had to justify the click when they got through to the video. But before I could do that, I first of all had to make sure that I could get a picture where they both looked like they were disgruntled. And that's where, if you've got Photoshop skills, it proves useful. So this is point number 2, is you just need to be able to make sure you can edit and make your own version of that thumbnail. So that's what I was able to do. I found a couple of screenshots. I managed to get them so they looked in different directions. They both looked annoyed. And then by a little bit of tweaking and so on, you make your own version of that thumbnail. And so now it became believable that they were now on a thumbnail. It looked like there was a difference of opinion, and I knew I had the video that could justify it. But if I put the video now, or the interview, if I just put it straight out, it wouldn't make a lot of sense, because the fact was in the first few seconds of that video, it needed justifying, and yet it was only more like 3 or 4 minutes into the interview that David Jason spoke about how there was a difference between him and Nick Lyndhurst. So that's where the third part comes in. You need to now edit wisely. And the key is to grab the reason why people are clicking on it and now give it another glimpse, give it another justification to show that by watching this video, it will all make sense. It wasn't clickbait without justification. And that's point 3. Edit in a way that justifies the thumbnail and the click itself. And that may well mean you have to spend a bit of time on the first 30 seconds of the video to justify the click in the first place. Now, when you get this right, it can be an explosion on your channel. So it's good to keep aware as to what is currently working, what thumbnails got you to click, and how you can then use that within your niche. And also when something works, double down on it. So if the audience loved a particular video, make another one. You may feel it's quite similar, but they're obviously resonating with what you're doing there and they want more of it. So make more of it, do a bit more research, give them a bit more of what they want, and you'll find the algorithm seems to love that. Have the right perspective, so don't expect a video to blow up within day 1 or 2. Sometimes it needs a good few months before the algorithm knows how to present it. So have a good perspective, don't expect it to blow up overnight. I mentioned a community, but using community posts as well on a regular basis. Show that you're invested in your audience and you want them to succeed with you. But what made it happen so fast? Well, it all came down to one video. You say the words, subscribe. And the way it works is that Google will look at the video, it will then transcript the video automatically, and when it sees that word, it then will make the button flash. Now, if you missed it, then I'll say it again in a moment. And I mentioned earlier about the importance of reacting to a trend. And I just picked up on a new trend. In this case, the subscribe button changed. And everyone was interested in it, but very few people have made a video about it within the first few weeks. So you notice here, this video absolutely blew up because everyone was wanting to know, how does this new button work? And so therefore, I then got nearly the majority of my 1,000 subscribers through that particular video. So let me show you again how it works. I'm just going to write down a couple of words here, and this is what you need to do and need to say if you want to get that button to flash again. So like and subscribe for more YouTube cool videos or something like that. But the fact is those words, the button should have again animated itself when I said those words. But when should you say those words? And why is it only 3 times? Well, Google doesn't want you to overuse it. And to be honest with you, you only need to say it once, and it should be said near the end of the video when you've already given plenty of value. So that's why I wouldn't say it right at the beginning. A few years ago, everyone was doing it and saying it right at the beginning and giving no reason why you should subscribe, which is my 3rd time in saying it. So in effect, what I did is I knew there was an itch that people wanted to scratch, and my video would scratch that itch. And that was something that I've covered on a recent video too. Oh, wouldn't you agree? Providing relief for an itch. Well, knowing exactly where that itch is makes such a difference. And your audience also has an itch. If you scratch the itch on the right spot, it's like addressing their question. If you go to YouTube, YouTube's like a search engine. Often there's a problem. It's like having that itch. And when a really good, valuable video comes along that explains how to do something, it's like then you've got that itch being scratched, and it produces then positive vibes. It produces views, it produces subscribers, and of course the like button. Why am I so itchy now? Just doing this video. However, scratching just randomly all over the place is more likely to just irritate people. So if you are trying to itch scratches that you don't really understand, it's like someone scratching you when they don't. It's just annoying if someone keeps scratching you. But how do you know what their itch actually is? Well, in the case of my video here, I was able to know that from seeing through the research tab exactly what it was that people are looking for. So YouTube knows that there's lots of people searching for things, and then they're realizing they're not really getting satisfied. They're not really getting that itch scratched. And that's where this research tab is so handy to use. And I used it, I came across the fact that this video needed to be called a certain title because that was what people were searching for. But you may be asking, well, okay, why do I need more views and likes? Well, views and likes in effect are an engagement signal to YouTube and its algorithm. It's a major factor in building a following and building a community. You know, there's some YouTubers with 1 million subscribers, yet no one really engages with their content. So if you want to know how that works, if you want to know how the algorithm works, especially since there's been a recent new update, I produced a video that people haven't found yet. So maybe I'm impatient, maybe not, but why not check it out? Because I think it's a very valuable video that's yet to be discovered on YouTube, and it's right here, so don't miss it. I'll see you on that next video.